So today we are doing a little wheat drilling. We are drilling hard red winter wheat. It is currently September 10th, 11th maybe, I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get fueled up right now. I have a 110 gallon fuel tank in the back of my pickup. So while that is fueling, I'll kind of show you what the drill is. It's different than most typical drills. I guess typical meaning a disc drill. This would be a hoe drill. We're on 12.5-inch centers and we have the closed packer wheels on the back. Now what that does is it allows you to put the seed in roughly 4 to 5 inches below surface level by moving 3 inches of dirt with the shank and then going ahead and sticking it in the ground another 2. One benefit to the hoe drill style drill is instead of going to every single unit to adjust it, John Deere has 2 sets of leveling blocks. Each block is 1/4 inch, so therefore if you want to stick it in the ground 1/4, put one in. If you want to raise it up 1/2 inch, you take 2 out. So it's a really simple setup with 2 points of adjustment. That way you can adjust really anytime you want. It doesn't take you forever going to every single row unit and adjusting your depth there. So if you can see here how it's ridged, this is exactly where the boot ran, and then the divots are made from the packer wheels closing it in. So we're able to move 3 inches of dirt here and stick it in the ground another 2 to be able to find moisture even when it is not a very wet year as per most. This is excellent moisture. That's about as good as it can get. So for the cart, it's a 1910 cart, holds 350 bushels. Some people blend fertilizer and put it on dry, but we're all on hydrous. So I'm able to do 510 acres with the seed that I have in there. And it comes out of here in the meters. It's a volumetric meter that gets calibrated. Then you put your setting on here depending on what the calibration tells you to do. And I have them to where they'll run out evenly. So it's super simple. That is the great part about a drill. It's not complicated. It just goes really. Climb up here on top. So these are the tank lids. And that would be the seed. So now we've done most of our flat ground. Now I'm just working on these terraces. So as you can see, this one terrace that I worked out around. So this won't be a whole lot of auto steering today, which isn't a real big deal. It's kind of nice being able to drive every once in a while. It keeps you entertained, I guess is the easiest way to put it. 1 picks it up, 3 starts the fan, 3 forward, lock that down. That has to build up to 3,500. Then we'll be able to get out and check the run blocks. So by turning that, it manually turns the meters, which lets the seed flow out of the boots. So now I gotta walk by and make sure the seed is flowing out of every boot and then none of them are plugged. Oh, like this one. So see how there's no seed here? Well, if you feel on the bottom, it was plugged with dirt. So now there's seed. So some drills have run block on every row. This one, our other one does. This one only has it on every tower and the outside 2 rows. So you gotta manually check it to make sure that none of them are plugged. Like this. Now we're good. It only happens really overnight because this likes to settle down, but when it settles, it shoves all the dirt up underneath the boots. So you gotta do it every day. But until I fix that, this is the solution. And as you're walking, so if one of these main hoses blows, normally there's wheat that's settled on the frame. So if you find any wheat, even one little kernel of wheat, make sure to inspect it, feel around here, make sure nothing's leaking, because one hole will cause you a lot of problems. All right, well, I suppose better get something done today. Been running for a little bit now, so I figured it's time to check depth just to guarantee that I'm still in the right spot. One bad thing about a hoe drill, I don't know if you can see all those hanging on there, but that's bindweed. And whatever a hoe goes through, it picks it up because there's nothing to chop it up before the hoe. So if those get bad enough, it'll start kind of rounding off the tops of your furrows and it'll fill them in. Right now it's not too bad, but eventually it could get to the point where you got to go and clean them all off. All right, so what I do whenever I check depth is first dig down to moisture, find where the moisture level is. So there's wheat level right there. Line it up. We're sitting at about 2.5 inches to the seed. That's a little deep. You want it in for sure 1.5 to 2 inches of moisture. There's the seed and then there's the moisture. So I think we're good. I would really like it to be about 1.75 to 2 inches, but moisture's moisture. It is what it is. We're not predicted to get rain anytime soon, so it'll be fine. It takes so much time for the seed to get from the cart to the heads to the boot down into the ground. It's really just easier to make a big loop, stick it back in the ground and drill again. Well, per usual, I have 1 acre left and I'm out of seed. So that's just 40, that's not even a bushel. Out of that whole cart, I'm 1 bushel shy of finishing this field, which is what it is. But now we'll get all set up and we will fill with seed. Well, it is now the next day. We ran into some problems yesterday after filling. I had a meter that said that it wasn't turning. So if you look right there, you can see that it says pounds per acre. That's the rate coming out of the 1 meter. Well, it kept going to 0, and it clearly was not on 0 because I could see it spinning from here. So I think it's the speed sensor is going bad. So I wiggled a bunch of wires and it's going. We have a couple more days of drilling, so hopefully we can just get done and then I'll tend to it when it's back at the shop. But I got filled yesterday and we are working on the last half section out west of town. After this, we will be moving 30 minutes back over to the east side of town where we will be finishing up the last 2-3 days of drilling maybe, if all goes according to plan. So is everybody on team leave your monitors in because it'll be fine, it is what it is, or are you on team take them out after the end of every operation? Because I am definitely on team leave them in there. This tractor gets about 1,200 hours a year put on it, and it really doesn't ever see the shop unless it's, you know, on the way through grabbing fuel. It goes from the 48-row planter, switched over to the auger cart, switched over to the sweep plow, then back to the drill, and then it'll be back on the cart for fall harvest. So it doesn't ever see a real long period of downtime where we're able to, you know, dismantle the monitor setup. Well, we are folded up and we are moving back to the east. So this is about a 30-minute trip. I don't know how many miles, probably a few. More than 2 and less than 300, how about that? But we should be there in little to no time. Well, it definitely got dark on me way too quick, and I did not get enough done today that I wanted to get done, but it is what it is. So I will see you guys in the next video. I apologize for the randomness and a couple days of footage, but new to the game, don't know how to do this yet. So hang with me and we will finish up wheat drilling here in about 3 days. So I will see you guys later.